Okay, so I think last week we left off with the query selector. We didn't get to do it, but we'll do some tonight. So by now you should know how to do, access any element in the DOM tree using the get element by ID, the tag name. We deal with the name for the form, and also the class name. Okay, so the query selector allows you to select any tag in your document using the same rules as CSS. So if you know CSS, you should know very well how to target those tags in the query selector. Okay, this one here, I kind of put a query selector, selector all. I should put those together, but kind of similar. So the query selector only returns a single element, just like the get element by ID, whereas the query selector all returns a collection of all the elements in the document. So it's actually much more flexible than by the tag name or by the class name or by the name. Okay, because with the selectors, this is a single, well, it should say selector as singular, it should be plural. You can put more selectors in here. So let's see, I have a list in here somewhere, like these here. All of these can be added to the selector part, right? You can choose and say, I want to get all the tags of the p tag, div tag, the table tag, and whatever tags you want to select. Then that will return a collection of all those tags if they are found in your document. If they don't exist, then they're not going to be extracted. If you put the star, this is just universal, just like CSS. It applies to every tag in your body of your document. You may not want that. Which maybe you do, right? If you want to check every single tag and then from the top to the bottom of the tree, and make sure you, if you want to look for a certain type of tag, then you can use that. You can also use some attribute selectors. So here, it's pretty cool, right? You only do that with CSS. So that's why you can say, I want to get all the div tag that has the ID of cool, right? It only grabs those div tags. If there are none, then you get a null value, right? A unique ID, just the pound sign, a unique class name, the dot, and you can select multiple class names, just put that with dot class name, and so on, okay? So, or you can also select a certain child element. And this is just a few of those. You can do a lot more. You can do with like the parent-child relationship, the parent or descendant, right? All of those can be applied here. So what that means is that when you select a query selector, like here, okay, so the document.query selector, I found this out. I pressed the, let me find a quick way to do that, see if this works. Yeah, this is zoom right here. It's kind of cool. Except it's moving. So we have the query selector all finds all the tag, doesn't matter what tag it is. They have the class name called app, .app. And we'll grab that, and you get a collection of those tags. So for example, in this example here has 3 tags that have that class name. Okay. If you want to get a specific child, then you can do give me all the paragraphs, but I only want the second child. So you might have like 3 paragraphs or 10 paragraph tags, that means that have to be sibling tags, right? Then it's just grab that second child. When I say 1 will be the first child, and a little bit tricky because when you do it this way, then there is no 0th child. It's just 1 child, 2, and 3, and 4. So in this case, it's not a 0 base. In other words, CSS is not a 0 base. It's a 1 base language. Okay, so there's no 0. So a little bit confusing this part, but that's what this means. Then the create element, create text node, and append child, quite common. You can also prepend it. We always use the append Append means you just attach it to the end of the list, right? You keep adding to the end of the tree. If you want to add it to the beginning, then use prepend. Prepend child always add to the beginning of that tree, so it'll be the 0th node. Okay, and if you want to insert in between somewhere, then you have to use the insert before or insert after a certain child. Okay, this also has examples in the book. But these are usually go together. The create element and the create text node here, they go hand in hand. Because once you create an element, then you actually need the text, the actual content in there. And you can use the text node to create that and then attach it to the element. Okay? So if you create a text node, then just floating around, it needs to be attached to an element somewhere. So they kind of go hand in hand together. And once you create an element, well, you have to append it or insert it to some location in the tree, either through the append child or the insert before after or the prepend. Right? So those are very common. So I kind of put those three things together here, and the syntax are all here. So first you create an element, you give it a tag name, the type, I should say, the name is the actual tag, like a p tag or div tag, only one tag, okay, not multiple. You only create one at a time. It doesn't allow you to create multiple tags. And then the text node here, the data could be anything. Data could be a string of characters or a string of HTML tags. That's fine too. It doesn't really matter. And then you can append that to the child, which is the element here. And then once you get that text encapsulated inside the element, then you can add the element to the tree. Okay, and by using the same method here, the append child.